There are days that start with a whisper from the universe, the kind you can barely hear but somehow feel in your bones. Today is not yours. You might not catch it right away. You might even wake up feeling optimistic, mistaking the silence for peace rather than warning. You stretch, you breathe in hope, and you step out into the world completely unaware that the day ahead is a carefully laid trap. A cosmic prank. A silent sabotage of everything you planned and hoped for. Mine began with toothpaste in my eye. I wish that were a metaphor for something deeper, some poetic symbolism of being blinded by routine or trying too hard to smile. But no, I was brushing my teeth while half asleep, and in a moment of clumsy enthusiasm, my thumb slipped on the tube. Mint foam launched straight into my left eye. And it burned. Oh, it burned like betrayal. Still, I pressed on. That's what we're taught, isn't it? That success is about perseverance. That grit is what separates winners from quitters. So I rinsed out my eye, changed into my carefully laid out outfit, and walked out the door ready to conquer my day. Except the door wouldn't open. The lock jammed for the first time in the 3 years I'd lived there. I wrestled with it for 10 minutes, finally jimmied it open with a spoon from last night's cereal bowl, and marched outside with the righteous frustration of someone already 10 minutes behind schedule. Then came the bus that never came. The one I rely on every morning. The one whose schedule won no like a second heartbeat. 25 minutes later, as I stood in the drizzle trying to convince myself that I wasn't late yet, just unpredictably early for the next bus, I watched it roll by on the opposite side of the street, completely out of route. No explanation, no apology, just the whoosh of water from the wheels splashing my shoes as it passed. I was now thoroughly wet, half blinded by residual toothpaste sting, and aware that I was going to be late for a job interview that, to be honest, I had pinned far too much hope on. I arrived 27 minutes late. My resume was damp, my confidence was fraying, and the receptionist greeted me with a look reserved for people who show up to weddings in cargo shorts. I tried to recover, I really did. I smiled, I made small talk. I apologized for the delay with a chuckle that tasted like desperation. The interviewer didn't laugh. They asked me a question I'd prepared for, and I forgot every word of the answer I'd rehearsed. My brain chose that exact moment to become a dial-up modem in a Wi-Fi world. I heard myself speaking and didn't recognize the voice. I wanted to tell them I was better than this, sharper than this, but the moment had already sunk. By the time I walked out, I felt like I was lugging the day on my back. A heavy, wet, cursed backpack full of lost chances and awkward silences. I got home and opened the fridge, searching for something small and good, a culinary victory, only to find spoiled milk, 1 egg, and a jar of pickles. My stomach, already soured from the day, staged a protest. I tried to write to feel productive, but the words wouldn't come. I tried to call a friend, but they didn't answer. I sat on the edge of my bed and thought about everything that had gone wrong. Not just today, but in a slow build-up over weeks, rejections, delays, disappointments. Life had become a slideshow of almosts and not quites. And then, the power went out. Of course it did. I sat in the darkness for a long time. No music, no scrolling. Just silence and the hum of my own exhaustion. That's when the anger came. Not loud, just a tight knot in my chest that pulsed with a single question. Why? Why does everything have to fall apart at once? Why do the small things team up and hit you like a wave, right when you're already treading water? Why does the universe never give you a heads up before it turns into a bully? There was no answer, just the dark. And maybe that's the point. When nothing works in your favor, you're forced to meet yourself. Not the version with the tidy answers and cheerful goals, but the raw, ragged version who sits in the dark and wonders what the hell they're doing with their life. You meet the part of you that isn't polished for company. The part that questions everything. But somewhere in that darkness, something shifts. Not a solution, not a miracle. Just awareness. That you're still here. That you endured another day of invisible battles and persistent inconvenience. That the weight didn't crush you, even though it could have. Sometimes, when nothing works, the only thing that does is you. The soft, stubborn heartbeat that refuses to quit. The quiet breath that carries you into the next hour. The part of you that still believes there will be better days, even without evidence. So I stayed in the dark a while longer. And then I lit a candle. Not to banish the darkness entirely, but just to say, I'm still here. A small flame in a very long night. Sometimes, that's enough.